Welcome into this Ed's Extra Point. I'm Ed Lane. The NCAA, the SEC, and Ole Miss have a big problem on their hands. No, it's not the latest academic misconduct or pay-for-play scheme where some player has taken impermissible benefits from a coach or a booster or anyone else involved in the program. It's not fudging of transcripts. It's not anything that shows that academic reform is necessary and still hasn't been addressed. The problem at Ole Miss is that 20 or so football players attended the Laramie Project as part of a freshman-level theater course. No word on whether the players were just freshmen or steered toward the class to keep eligible. But 20 or so football players allegedly attended the Laramie Project as part of a class requirement, a project that is a play about a young boy in Wyoming back in the late 90s, brutally murdered because he's a homosexual. The football players not only were allegedly shouting derogatory terms to the point where it was interrupting the play and distracting the cast members, but apparently they incited the crowd, which resulted in their doing a similar thing. Apparently, afterwards, football players were told by an assistant coach of their misfortune, and what took place? Here's the punishment, or the reaction from the Ole Miss football staff right now. One player and a gopher assistant apologized to the play's members, cast, and director for their actions. That's not good enough. When you consider Ole Miss, Mississippi, the Rebels, the Colonel, things that stand for the Civil War, lack of tolerance, I know, ironic in this situation, and the SEC, which has had a similarly poor history of being the last conference to racially integrate. That is a bad story to have to deal with another issue of intolerance. Yes, the SEC has taken great steps to make sure that it's integrated itself and it's progressed forward, and many of their fans have done the same thing at the majority of these institutions. But this is a bad problem, one which extends much further than academic misconduct, which merely is an example of the need to reform the education structure around big-time college sports, and the pay-for-play issues which result seemingly everywhere. This is an issue of intolerance, poor reputation, pathetic judgment, and frankly, a real lack of education in how to treat other people, especially members around your campus. I have no problem with football players being BMOCs, receiving the great perks of being a star athlete. The least you can do is treat other people with a level of respect, and if you really don't want to be there, it again highlights the need for academic reform. So maybe these guys are in a theater class when they're 28 or 40 and understand how to actually act like grown-ups rather than acting like immature middle schoolers. With this Ed's Extra Point, I'm Ed Lane.